When I sort of stopped writing, more or less stopped writing novels, and spent 5 years taking my thoughts and work of 20 years to write Voltaire's Bastards. And of course, it's very European in many ways as a book, even if it's a rejection of the rational arguments and things. But there's still in it little hints of an attempt at looking at non-European indigenous ideas, just at the beginning and at the end. And then gradually over the years, as I got to know indigenous thoughts better, and then I know in particular the indigenous peoples in Canada, which is, they're not Canadian in the sense that it's our borders are the artificial for them. Yeah. I really started to realize that the failures of Western philosophy and of the application of Western philosophy, which were getting bigger and bigger and bigger, as the universities became more and more arcane, and the stupidity of contemporary French philosophy, just lost. It's really the equivalent of monks in the Middle Ages, the worst of monks in the Middle Ages, and going round in circles and footnoting each other, and really at a time of enormous growing crisis in the world and in Western civilization, philosophy, which is at the heart of what allows us to change things, abandoned the ship and became this closed shop and not open to outside ideas. And so, in fact, I'm skipping a bit, but often when I speak, I say that, if you ask me how strategically, because I think a lot about how to strategically change things, the first thing I would do is blow up the departments of philosophy. And take the people out first, but blow up the ideas. And then you take the rubble and you pick and choose among the rubble, and you put it together with philosophies from elsewhere, from outside the Western traditions. There's such amazing things. And I've gone into place after place where they do these sort of degrees in great books and things like that. And they're always just Western. They're all Western. And it's, listen, so I live in Canada. Europeans and others have been coming to Canada for 500 years. Before that, we had thousands of years of indigenous civilizations. So I look at the philosophical departments in Canada. There isn't a single idea that's come from Canada. So in other words, we're so stupid that we actually haven't had a philosophical thought in 500 years or in 2 or 3,000 years. So this tells you there's something fundamentally wrong. And when in the debates today, somebody mentioned Marshall McLuhan, and then I mentioned Harold Innes, they're not taught in philosophy. They can't be taught in philosophy, even though this is one of the most radical rethinking of philosophical ideas of the 20th century. They can't be taught because they are not derivative of European philosophy. So, after I'd done Voltaire's Bastards, I gradually started thinking that, there have to be other ways of coming at these ideas which will allow us to move and to change. And I spent a lot of time in Asia since 1978 or so, in Southeast Asia in particular. I have a lot of Buddhist friends, Southeast Asia. I'm not a Buddhist, but I'm on one of the big engaged Buddhist associations in Asia because I've known them a long time. I was writing about Islam in my early novels in the 80s, and I'm not a Muslim, But these ideas are very important to me.